Hi everybody, Alex the Pro here from Expert4x, and in today's video I'm going to show you the Hedged robot upgrade, the changes that we've made, and I'm also going to show you some examples of the trades that get generated, as well as providing you with a free trading tool. Now here's the Expert4x Hedged EA. If you want more details about it, I will include a clickable link in the description of the video, as well as in the first comment. And the new version is version 3. You can download that from EA Factory. There's an MT4 and an MT5 version, and I'm going to go through the changes that we've made. Firstly, we've taken all the old pruning options out. So there were 3 previous pruning options, and we've replaced it with one single pruning option, which is a small profit or small loss option. We've also changed the default settings. We've got a new list of suggested currencies, and we have a new pairs to get out of setting, which is actually very useful. I'll go into that in a little bit more detail. And we've made it easier for you to move your account from a desktop to a VPS, or from a VPS to a desktop. And here are the new settings. You can pause the video to go through them, but essentially the highlighted ones are the biggest changes. The suggested currencies have changed. They do not affect the currencies that you are currently trading. These are mainly for new users of the EA. And here is the pairs to get out of setting, which you just put that the pair that you want to get out of. So let's say I'm trading the Euro USD and I don't want to trade it anymore, but I have got open trades. I put that the Euro USD in there, and the minute the Euro USD closes, it will no longer trade that particular currency. And then the pruning has really reduced only to tell the robot when you want pruning to happen. Do you want it to happen after 3 trades, 5 trades, 4 trades? The default is 4. So how does the new pruning function work? Is when the number of open trades reaches that setting that you've just seen, which in the default is 4, then and the price of the last opened trade reaches the previous transaction level. So if we're talking in terms of grids, let's say it's a 4th grid level reaches the 3rd grid level, then the EA will close that particular trade at a nice profit, and then it will go and look for the very first trade that's been opened and close as much of that trade as it needs to balance the loss with the profit, because that first transaction will be in a loss, and the EA will have an amount that it has in profit, and it will try and make it a small profit. If not, there will be a very tiny loss. That's how it basically works. But the benefit of that is that you're closing 2 transactions, one at the top, one at the bottom. You're squeezing the open trades into one smaller range, and therefore the risk is reduced tremendously. Okay, here are some examples of some of the trades that happen when you're using the Hedged EA. And I'm going to start with the pruning one. Here's a pruning trade, and it actually closed at a small profit of $11. And what happened here, you see this sell there? The sell came down to the previous transaction level, and that's what happened. So that transaction was closed nice and profitably, and then it went down to the very first transaction that was still open, and there we are, and it closed just enough to ensure that there is a small profit on this transaction. So there's an example of a pruning transaction. The next transaction that I'd like to show you is when you have a basket of open trades, and some are profitable, some are not profitable. The EA will look at that basket and close it at the amount that you want to close it at. And here's an example of one over here. A profit amount reached $111, and this is made up of 4 transactions. So there was a sell that was closed positively, there was a sell that was closed positively, there was a sell that was closed negatively, and there was a sell that was closed negatively. But the sum total of those transactions was a nice profit of $111. So that's an example of a basket closure. Then the other closure is a little straightforward one where the price just hits the target. But the difference here is that you can hide the target from the broker. So here's an example of one. Let's have a look at that buy over there. Went up and it closed initial hidden closure. So it's an initial trade. It hit the target straight away, but it was a hidden closure. And here's another one. Here's a buy that went up, initial hidden closure. Now the fourth method is a trailing stop. You can have a look at the settings again. There is a trailing stop facility. I don't particularly use it, but it is available for traders who want to use a trailing stop. Now, while we like the hedged EA, it tends to generate good risk-return ratios. In other words, the maximum drawdown experience is much lower than the profit built up during the trading. So here's an example, for instance, and when it says linked, it means these accounts are part of our linking service. And here's one that's generated $16,000, but its maximum drawdown was 6. So that ratio is fantastic. That's the one we look at. Look at that ratio again, nice and positive. Here's a great one, 5,000 generated with a very small drawdown, and you can just go on and see some of these fantastic, and that is why we like the hedged EA. Now the free drawdown tool is actually complements the hedged EA, and that's why we're including it. It's the trend analyzer, and what the analyzer does is it looks at how big the trends are for the various currencies, and it looks at what is the biggest trend, and it looks at what the average trends are, and that gives us an idea of how dangerous the currency is, because if the biggest trends are huge, it can actually result in big drawdowns. So go and download this tool. It is in the a link will be in the description of the video as well as in the first commentary. And if we look at the tool in a little bit more detail, here's the pound yen, for instance. It had a massive, the longest trend it's had is almost 2,000 pips, very dangerous. The average trend is 400 pips. So when you're trading profit retrieval processes, you need to understand that you're exposing yourself to big trends if you're using that particular currency. If we look at the other extreme, the euro pound, you'll see that the highest trend that has occurred is 200 pips compared to almost 2,000 pips of the pound yen, and that the average trend is only just under 70 pips. Big difference between the currencies. So that is why we've changed the suggested currencies to include the lower end of these currencies that have the smaller trends and expose traders to smaller risk. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've learned a little bit about the changes that we've made and how you can improve your results using those changes that have been made. Again, just a reminder, links to anything mentioned in this video will be in the first commentary and in the description of the video. I hope you enjoy these changes. From me, Alex Explorer, cheerio.